of directors, I just want to take this opportunity to thank you for coming today. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your interest. We're really excited to share our vision of health and of wellness. So we just invite you to listen to the presentations that will be happening, engage. There'll be a time for discussion and feedback. But overall, I just want to say welcome and thank you.
You know, I said to a good friend of mine who's a contractor that, you know, you guys don't need to build in the kitchen again because everybody is eating fast food. No, there's no cooking going on again. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of the fast food, I hope nobody from the cleaner is here because I don't want to see my name in the paper, it's criticizing them. But because of the manufacturing process of those fast food, you get basically nothing from there. No minerals, no antioxidant, nothing. It just fills the stomach to roll again. And I don't even have to mention the sugar content. And we don't pay much attention to that. You know, several months ago, years ago, I saw where the average American consumer around 150 to 60 pounds of sugar if you're to weigh it. And most of us can't even lift that over our head. So this goes to show if we don't put in the checks and balances now and focus on richness, we're all going to be striving to be the richest man in the graveyard. And another set is digging the grave with their teeth and the stone white. But opening prayer, let me welcome Reverend Sharon Mackenzie, Pastor, Macedonia for Gospel. Thank you.
Thank you much. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Please bow your heads for prayer. Praise God. Eternal Father, our Lord and Savior, we will magnify your name this evening. We thank you that you are here with us. We thank you that you're in the plans. We thank you that you're in control. We thank you that you are great and mighty. We thank you that this day is the fullness of time. You had it planned long ago. So as it is established in our beautiful country, Jamaica, and we just give you glory. We give you honor. We give you praise. Amen and amen.
If you think around 20, 30 years ago, that word herb or herbs was brandished about, you would see policemen locking it down because it was always associated with marijuana or ganja. But it is much bigger than that. You know, people talk about marijuana as healing of the nation, but the truth be told, in the Garden of Eden, there were a lot of herbs and spices. And as far as I'm concerned, everything that can be obtained from that garden can heal most, if not everything. So when I see someone like Dr. Gilbertha St Rose, general practitioner, dermatologist, consultant, medical herbalist, CEO, Eden Herbs, president, Caribbean Association for Plant Science, Industry, Commerce, and Use in Medicine. 43 years a doctor, 22 years a dermatologist, and 23 years a herbalist. Studied general medicine, general surgery, obstetrics, gynecology, dermatology, orthopedics, ophthalmology, gastroenterology, psychiatry, wow, herbal medicine. I salute you.
Greetings from St Lucia. Congratulations on the setting up of this very great venture, Chiacell Biologicals Herbal Health Center, in partnership with the WellSpring Farms Limited. Dr. Gail Defoe is indeed a gem for us here in the Caribbean and is a champion for the promotion of our Caribbean herbals. I thank her for her perseverance, passion, and unfailing dedication towards bringing our herbal industry to its true value, representation, and utilization in our present health culture. Dr. Defoe is a wonderful woman of God. I wish her renewed strength and wisdom as she continues on her journey. Bush medicine has a rich history throughout our Caribbean islands. Even with the emergence and dominance of pharmaceutical drugs, the use of bush medicine continues to thrive. We have elevated the practice to phytotherapy when speaking of the use of herbal medicines. We have also classified various types of herbal medicine preparations, ranging from the traditional decoctions and infusions as ethnomedicines to phyto-pharmeceuticals and nutriceuticals. These herbal medicines are marketed in liquid, pill, capsule, dried herbs, loose or in tea bags, also creams, ointments, gels, suppositories, and we have even risen to deliver injectable phytopharmaceuticals. I look forward to hearing the work that Dr. Fisher, a well-known integrative health practitioner, is doing, using cutting-edge technologies, including stem cell interventions, and marrying them with the power of healing herbs. I am happy to see that my longtime friend and pioneer, Dr. Diane Robertson, continues with us, and I look forward to her publication of her second book. Our health challenges throughout the Caribbean stem from underlying inflammation and poor nutrition, interspaced with toxic emotional and mental states, lack of self-idealization, self-empowerment, and spirituality. All these contribute to poor health in our nations. We observe the increased cases of, example, diabetes mellitus, hypertension, and cardiovascular disease, topping our list of chronic non-communicable diseases. Get ready for the increase in cases of autoimmune and cardiovascular diseases and flare-up of inflammatory and immune deficiency diseases resulting from the onslaught of COVID-19 injections. Our herbals and foods must be ready for the rescue of our people. Chiacell Biologicals Herbal Health Center, in partnership with the WellSpring Farm Limited, is a well-placed foundation to correct these deficiencies. A sustainable supply of wholesome, organic, nutritious foods, together with well-researched, value-added herbal products, and a united and self-sustainable approach to health solutions will redeem us. It is very important to educate our people, have them take responsibility for their health, and be empowered and confident as they use our herbals. Let me give you a little history of herbal medicine in the Caribbean, starting from 1982. In 1982 in Haiti, Tramel, Traditional Medicines of the Islands project was born. Check us out at tramel.net. Tramel is a program of applied research for traditional popular medicine in the Caribbean. It aims to rationalize health practices based on the use of medicinal plants. The network is all volunteer and multidisciplinary and includes medical doctors, phytochemists, pharmacists, botanists, taxonomists, herbarium curators, and anthropologists. We continue to work on verifying the uses of traditional remedies. Tramel is research and academically oriented to validate our herbs and warn of toxicity. We are people-centered. Our knowledge came from the people as exemplified by our Tramel surveys. And we have the program of TRADIF, where we share the information back with the people after our process of scientific validation. The Caribbean Association of Researchers and Herbal Practitioners, CARAPA, was established in 1998 during the first workshop on herbal medicine in the Caribbean, which was one of the activities held to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the University of the West Indies. Please note that 2023 marks the celebration of the 75th anniversary of the University of the West Indies. CARAPA has held annual international workshops, conferences since 1998 up to 2005. Two of our conferences had the theme Integrating Herbal Medicine into the Healthcare System. The Caribbean Herbal Business Association was conceived at the Caribbean Herbs Business Forum in December 2002 in Montego Bay, Jamaica. On January 5, 2004, CHBA was formally registered. There was a proposal to join CARAPA and CHBA to form one organization. At our Trammel workshop hosted by the University of the West Indies in Trinidad and Tobago in April 2008, a new name for our Caribbean herbal body came to life. Our very experienced Dr. Benjamin Gilbert of Brazil proposed the name Caribbean Association for Plant Science, Industry, Commerce, and Use in Medicine, CAPSICUM. Objectives for CAPSICUM are as follows: to support and encourage the conservation, cultivation, and propagation of herbals in the Caribbean, to establish networks, linkages, and a forum for the generation, sharing, and exchange of ideas, products, and information among persons, institutions, and businesses involved in all aspects relating to the herbal industry, to promote and maintain effective integration of the use of herbals into the healthcare system and offer sustainable and consistent natural products of high quality, safety, and efficacy, to support and advise on the training of practitioners and technicians in order to guarantee compliance with the established norms and regulations, encourage and support research towards fulfilling evidence-based use of herbals and the development of new products, to ensure that there are provisions for protecting the intellectual property rights and assets of members, and to ensure that benefits to the local community accrue, to ensure that the herbal industry achieves its full potential and evolves as a competitively viable business, with its products being promoted and sold profitably worldwide. CAPSICUM can manifest in Chiacell Biologicals herbal health centers in as many nations as possible, and have partnerships, affiliations with entities and institutions, and networking like that with WellSpring Farms Limited. This will have us poised to be a strong educational, research, and marketing force embracing wide areas. We all have to work together to make it a reality. Godspeed as we work fervently and faithfully together. God bless you.
Thanks. Thank you, Dr. Rose, Dr. Janice Simmonds Fisher.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Janice Fisher. I'm so excited to be with you to speak on a topic I'm extremely passionate about. Today we're going to talk about modern medicine, modern herbs. Is there still a role for natural medicine? Now the answers are complex, but I'm happy to get the discussions started with you. So at the end of today's presentation, we have 3 learning objectives. 1, we want to be able to define traditional medicine, complementary and alternative medicine, as well as the word integrative medicine. Now, I have spoken widely on the topic of biological repair, and I want to tell you just a little bit about my background. So I'm a physician at BioRegeneration Medical Center, and our flagship product is really stem cells. We do quite a bit with regenerative or repair medicine, anything that enhances healing and enhances circulation. But we also pioneer a number of therapies for sexual dysfunction, for the aging population especially. We reverse erectile dysfunction in men and also in women. We work at treatments that not just treat the symptoms, but really treat the underlying causes. We do a lot with nutritional IV therapies, whether it's for energy, whether it's for recovery, beauty, fertility, or just to optimize well-being. And finally, we do regenerative aesthetics, which is really anti-aging skincare without harsh fillers, without cancer-causing or immune triggering chemicals. And for us, the practice has been going on for 20 years, but the regenerative aspect has been 12 years. And in that time, we have really achieved 12 years of doing FDA-approved protocols. But we also have the distinction of doing the first piece to restore vision using stem cells anywhere in the world. We have proprietary protocols in erectile dysfunction, in neurological, and in orthopedic conditions. And we have been designated a center of excellence in healthcare and in innovation. And it is with this background in mind that I really want to talk to you about natural therapies. So the WHO, or World Health Organization, defines natural remedies as the same traditional medicine. You will hear me using both terms, traditional medicine or natural therapies. And the definition is really those health practices, those approaches, knowledge, and beliefs that incorporate plants, animals, and mineral-based medicines, as well as spiritual therapies, manual therapies, and exercises that can be applied singularly or in combination to diagnose, treat, prevent illness, or to maintain well-being. So we would often say the natural remedies really are what you call your home remedies. And for most people, it's the first line of defense from any illness. So there are little protocols for flu, for arthritis, for headaches, for pressure, for sugar. So if you had a flu before you even reached out to your primary care doctor or your general practitioner, you may decide to try some garlic and honey, or you may decide to use some tea. You had an upset stomach, you may be trying some mint or ginger. So there is a whole compendium of therapies that we would say are our first line therapies or home remedies. And it is often when this is not as effective or successful that you would reach out to the doctor. And most times, in most cases, the home remedies will be enough. So we know that our current biomedical knowledge and capabilities in medicine is astounding, and it should not be denied. But we do not as yet have all the answers, and for even that matter, have all the questions to maintaining great health. So, in giving you a little bit of semantics now, or a little bit of definitions, we spoke to traditional medicine being just natural therapies. In industrialized countries, there have been adaptation of the term traditional medicine to complementary or alternative medicine. And basically, it really is the same thing. We use the terminology complementary when it is used alongside conventional medicine. And we use the terminology alternative medicine when it's used in place of. So if you had a muscle spasm and we gave you a muscle relaxant drug along with massage, it would be complementary therapy for the massage. And if we said, oh, you have some spasms and we're going to recommend a massage, then it would be alternative medicine. We use the terminology botanical medicine when it is strictly related to plant therapies. Now, integrative medicine, and this is my true specialization, really is a particular definition of complementary and alternative medicine. But it is a situation where we combine mainstream conventional medicine, so a conventional doctor, with those complementary therapies which show a high quality of safety and effectiveness. So you would combine, let's say, your surgery, your medication, and your conventional medicine with additional therapies that may enhance the rate of repair or may facilitate a better outcome. Now, let's talk a little bit on complementary and alternative medicine. There are really 5 domains of complementary and alternative medicine. There is what we call the alternative medical systems, and these are full systems of medicine, such as naturopathy, homeopathy, Ayurveda in India, traditional Chinese medicine. There's also what we call mind-body medicine. And the mind-body therapies include things like cognitive behavior therapies, meditation, hypnosis, art, and prayer. So oftentimes I hear somebody say, well, I don't believe in alternative medicine, but yet they tell me that they're very spiritual, and we have to let you know that prayer is considered alternative medicine. So in the conventional sense, it's a very wide definition, and as you see, it includes things like your art therapy, your dance, your music, your meditations. There is also what we call biological therapies, and really these includes nutrition, diets, vitamins, and supplements. There is also what we call manipulative or body-based therapies, things like chiropractic adjustments, massage, and osteopathic treatments would come under this domain. And the final domain in complementary and alternative medicine is energy medicine, and that may include things like Reiki, biomagnetic treatments, even laying of hands. But any sort of energy-based treatments that employ physics and frequency. So this wheel really is another representation of the 5 domains of CAM: your biological base, which are your diets, herbs, and vitamins; your manipulative, like your massage and your chiropractor; your mind-body medicine, which has all your relaxation techniques, does a lot for stress management, most of the spirituality techniques and things like yoga, and alternative treatments like naturopathy, homeopathy, and energy medicine like Reiki and Qigong. Now, why should we care? Why should we even have a discussion on traditional medicine? Well, a study was done to really look at that, and it was published in the Journal of the American Medical Association in 1998. And I'm going to make a few references. And at the time, it said that over 30,000 herbs are on the market today, with an estimated value, and this was back in 1998, of $40 billion US dollars. So what we're looking at is a multi-billion dollar compound annual growth rate. And at the time, it was said that visits to complementary and alternative practitioners actually surpassed general practice visits. So why was that happening? And what was it that mainstream medicine was not seeing or not offering to these patients? And they found a number of underlying drivers at the time. There was dissatisfaction with the quality of care. There was problems with side effects in other situations, high healthcare costs, a feeling of just lack of control in their health systems. And in other situations, there were patients who wanted more focus on well-being and spirituality. And to add insult to injury, it was also noted that most physicians did not know that their patients were also being co-managed by a natural care provider or were using natural products. And when asked why, they had not disclosed this to their physician. Many said they didn't think the physician needed to know, and the physician never asked. So when we look now at the role of natural medicine, it was with a view that most patients, and at the time in 1980 it was 42%, I dare say that since COVID, it's probably 95%, because we started doing treatments to optimize the immune system. And a lot of those treatments included adding vitamin C, zinc, vitamin D3, all of which would be considered natural therapies. So I put to you 7 reasons that natural therapies play an extremely important role. One is within an integrative medicine model, where the physician is trained to utilize both, which I'll expound on. The other is in an alternative model, and the WHO has given us some strategies to promote traditional medicine. It also can be used in the management of stress. Most of your stress management techniques actually come under natural medicine. It can also be used as an adjunct in chronic disease management, in translating herbs into drugs, in palliative medicine, and in cultural and religious expression. Now, what I have before me is a list of over 50 universities that really are part of a compendium of integrative health providers. And almost every major university is investing heavily in integrative medicine. You will see here Sloan Kettering, Mayo, Duke University, Harvard University, and this is a patient-driven approach because patients are looking outside of traditional medicine. And so as medicine tries to keep up with the needs of their patients, integrative models are being enhanced and are being incorporated more. So where are we today? We have fellowships, clinical fellowships in integrative medicine at several universities. We have academic fellowships for the researchers, and we have residencies in integrative medicine. So physicians throughout the world are now being offered the opportunity to be trained in both herbs and integrative practices that will incorporate surgery, medication, and traditional therapies. Now, as an alternative, we can use traditional medicine as a single and only treatment instead of in an integrative model. And the World Health Organization has actually said that 80% of people in developing countries still rely on traditional medicine. And in Africa, about 80% of the population still uses traditional medicine as the main primary care medicine. And with that in mind, they had put forward, and this is the World Health Organization, 5 strategies to promote traditional medicine, including documenting traditional medicines and remedies, creating stronger evidence-based in traditional medicine, developing national policies around the regulation of traditional and camp practices, the way we have regulations around conventional medicine. But they also want to promote therapeutic use and sound use of traditional medicine and to ensure their availabilities in stores, in pharmacies, throughout the regions. So the WHO has given several national policies in terms of cultivation and preservation of natural medicines. The other real important role that I will put for natural remedies is really in the management of stress. Now, the Benson Henry Institute at Harvard University actually does a lot in mind-body therapies. And so it is an integrated branch of the hospital system there. And what they have said is that 60% of the visits to the healthcare provider has stress as a main driver. And if we are focusing on 40%, which is the etiologies or the causes that are unrelated to stress, then we're going to miss a great deal of patients. So we're not going to be able to optimize most patients. And if we are able to train our patients in stress management and really focusing on getting help for them where stress is playing a major role, that we could actually reduce the burden of hospitalizations by 43%. And I find that astounding. Now, we know that chronic disease management can marry very well into in complementary and alternative medicine. In fact, the first layer of treatment is always lifestyle based. And then if the lifestyle adjustments don't give you the sort of control, you proceed to drug therapy. So in our diabetics, we adjust diet, we improve activity, we improve stress management, sleep and hydration. And oftentimes we can actually impact the glucose scores. And it's the same for the high blood pressure in most chronic disease. So in actual fact, in conventional practice, the lifestyle is the first layer of treatment. Now, the other aspect is really translating drugs, translating herbs into drug therapy. So over 25 to 30% of the drugs on the market are derived from various plants. And I know you're not able to read all of these names in the table, but I can tell you that the first column has the drug, the second column has the action, and the third is the plant source. And this includes hundreds of drugs. I'm probably going to give you about 200, but this is hundreds and hundreds of drugs that would not exist without our plants. And finally, to wrap up, we use traditional medicine a lot in palliative medicine. And palliative medicine has to do with end of life and end stage disease. And in some of these patients, the body is so weak and they really can't tolerate a very strong drug. And so in, let's say, a cancer patient who is passing and who is in a lot of pain, they may choose to use cannabis to ease the pain, to help them sleep, to improve appetite, to reduce nausea. We also use herbs in cultural and religious expression, which cannot be denied. Certainly we know about cannabis and the Rastafarian group, but there's also ayahuasca, there are psychedelic mushrooms that have been part of different cultural expressions. And finally, in emerging infections. So we saw in COVID that certainly until we had a vaccine or had access to a number of antiretrovirals, that it was just our immune system and our home remedies. And so we were all boosting with vitamins, with turmeric, with ginger, with everything that could enhance our immune system. And I'd say the majority of what brought us through was the traditional medicine. And the same could have been said for dengue, for Zika, for chikungunya, and for whatever else that may come. So an example of an integrative model I want to leave you with is peripheral neuropathy. And this is really where the nerve damage and it may cause numbness, burning, tingling. And if you look at the different causes, we'll see in metabolic conditions like diabetes, but there are also nutritional causes like B12 deficiency. There may be toxins like alcohol or chemotherapy or heavy metals. There may be infections, and certainly there may be cancers and hereditary conditions. Now, in a conventional model, let's say you came in with this burning and tingling, and we did some blood work, and there was no diabetes, no kidney issue, no thyroid issue, which are the usual causes. Then the conversation may end there, and we may say, well, we couldn't find a cause. But in an integrative model, you'll be worked up to look at nutritional causes like B12 or B1 deficiency. You'll be worked up to find out if there's a heavy metal toxicity or any toxin at all that may be damaging the nerve. And the treatment offer then would be much wider. It would look at covering for disease, covering for nutrition, covering for detoxification, and also steps to promote wellness. So natural medicines help us to find certain answers. They provide more options to treat, they allow us to be a lot more comprehensive. They are definitely important in chronic disease management. And so in summary, we want to say that natural medicines are a part of modern medicine and modern healthcare. And there is no modern medicine without modern herbs. And natural medicines will require further research and development. We need improved access, and the preservation of this natural an important natural resource is going to be paramount in our future. And training physicians will help to bridge the divide. So yes, there is a role for natural remedies. And to say that the remedy that plays an important role in our modern advancement should be relegated to a thing of the past would be absurd. And certainly any remedy that serves over 80% of the developing world is important for us to pay attention to. And I want to thank you for your attention, and I look forward to hearing from some of you and to seeing more support for the initiative that we have today for providing access to more plant-based therapies for our population.
Thank you, Dr. Diane Robertson. She's in the house. Writer of the first Jamaican book on herbs.
Good evening. Wonderful evening to you all. I am Diane Robertson. And I just want to say that all of this came on me suddenly because, Gail had been very busy And by the time we were to get together, we a lot of things happened. But I'm happy to see that she has a crowd like this afternoon. I'm happy to see that it is happening here on this place, because I used to visit here very often many years ago. I have not been around for the past maybe 5 or 6 years, but I'm happy that something is happening or has cracked open once more for this area. I don't know what it is, but I know it is something far more than what I had been doing over the years. Now, I just wanted to quickly say that you might have heard about me, and you might have heard about me before, because, I had been extremely busy pushing herbs in this country. And I'll never forget how difficult it was for me, because a lot of my friends and strangers, etc., felt that I was knocked in the head. Anyhow, I just followed what God told me to do, because what has transpired over the many years, because I'm talking from 1980, and then I went up to 20, not even, no, in the 20 years there, 19 plus to 20. So I have been doing very well over those periods, particularly after getting what I wanted to happen in this island, that I was later sent to other islands and other countries to assist in that area. You see, I must say that the first part of my beginning in all of this with herbs was when I was a child of about, I think I could have been 7, 8. And I used to have what you call fussy, where I was a child that had a lot of these things happening on my skin. And my mother, of course, the doctor gave me some medication, but as soon as it goes, it comes back. And I'll never forget when one of her, an elderly lady that used to work for her or for us, says, you know what, I am going to treat your daughter if you'll allow me to treat her, because I know of something that would help to get rid of all of this. And she got a bath pan, and that bath pan was made from zinc bath pan in those days. And she put it with water, fresh water, out in the sun. And she then now got cerasee, and put it in the pan. So when I'm coming from school, 6, 7, I remember that we had to, I remember distinctly that I had to strip, and of course leaving me with just my panties. So, and she would bathe me, soak and bathe me in the cerasee bath pan. I spent about 15-20 minutes in it, but I got loving to have it because I felt so different. There was just something about it. And it cleared up within 2 weeks. Well, my mother said, okay, she's going to stop the cerasee business, and we continued. But it came back again. Within, say, another 2 weeks' time, it was there. And She said she's going to start over again, so we started over. And I had this bath regularly. In other words, instead of doing it every day, we would have it, she would let her do it like 3 times a week. And that was how this thing left me in. After possibly 2 months, if I say leave me, I could always, in other words, I had 3 months of this cure taking place in my body. And of course, we had to make sure that everything was right, and it was. Now that was really what led me to recognize those things over there, all of those stuff. And I says, I know that there must be a lot of herbs that could help other people with other problems. So that was how I ventured. Later in my mind, I went back to my doctor and I said to him, Doctor, I have to learn about the herbs or the bushes. And he looked at me and he laughed. And he says, well, when you're ready, you tell me. And I will see how well all of this will work. So that was how I began my journey to become a druggist. Those times, it wasn't pharmacists, it was druggists. So I decided from then that I want to be a druggist. So I started learning now, first of all, about the herbs. And in learning about the herbs, that was where it all began. Thank you very much.